U.S. Air Force goes again making uniform changes that people wanted but really didn't want like this. Now, this is coming at a moment where essentially there were announcements before that this was going to come, but we didn't know it was going to be in this fashion. It looks like this announcement was made by the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Joanne Bass. I still have to think every time I want to say that. It looks like they've now authorized what I'd like to call Tactitool ball caps, which essentially are the ones that nobody wanted. And we'll get into that, but it looks like these are going to be authorized for daily wear on a day-to-day basis. I can only imagine what's going to happen with the original cover device. Does Air Force, do you even call it a cover? Do you call it a hat? I don't even know, because it's like half civilian, half military. I'm trying to figure out where the heritage is at, other than copying the Navy. To be fair, the Air Force has announced that this is coming out, and this is the guidance that's going to be held in place for the next year in the interim until these are officially rolled out, because there are officially none released to any of the exchanges that are out there. Way to go, Air Force, because no one's able to pick it up on day one. Come on, have you not seen a video game release? Everyone loves a good day one release. Take notes. And after that, it looks like every other ball cap that is currently in circulation or out there authorized will no longer be authorized from a year from now. So if you have a ball cap, wear it every day. Wear it until pretty much you got sweat stains and you can no longer know what the pattern is or whatever else, because essentially you're going to be thrown in the trash, or it's going to go into memorabilia that you're going to use probably to cut your grass with. But let's go into some further details about this ball cap as well. It does look like it has to be the OCP pattern entirely across the entire ball cap. Or if you want to stick to the traditional Paris Hilton style trucker hat Von Dutch, they do offer that availability with a trucker style mesh back, which has to be coyote brown. And the front of this cover ball cap, I gotta be correct here, is going to be plain Jane on the front. And I'm like, Air Force, you missed the opportunity. You could have done command patches, morale through the roof. You could have done all these other things like everyone have a rank, but that's not how it's being done. They're only allowing the officers to have any rank on the front of their cover, but the chaplains get to then wear their little things on the front, because that's obviously, I guess, a wartime necessity to say, where's chaps at? What about medical? What's going on with that? We're under the Geneva Convention. We're not combatants, so I would understand that, but it's going to include either a Velcro or stitch on patch of some kind. They do not show examples of this yet, but we'll see what happens with that look as they come out. And it's only been how many years that we've officiated the Space Force. They've got their own uniforms. They've got pretty much their own branch right now, but it looks like they have ruled in the favor that the Space Force will follow the U.S. Air Force rules. Can we stop piggybacking off the Air Force yet, Space Force? We need to make you a real branch. We need to break off. Eventually, you gotta, Mama Bear's gotta go away. You need to go out and adventure on your own. You're gonna be in space. No one else is out there yet, okay?
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
There's nothing more tactical than pressing that subscribe button, because we're almost to 100K subscribers. We're currently almost at 97,000. Any help to get there is greatly appreciated. And I mentioned the good old U.S. Navy. This ball cap right here. U.S. Navy is known for having ball caps. Now, to be fair, the Air Force has allowed these over at U.S. Central Command and some specific parts of Asia as well for their original ball caps, which I could understand that. But the Navy, it has been tradition. We get this ball cap from the beginning of boot camp. By the way, it says recruit normally when you first start, so it's really demeaning. But we earn this ball cap. We cry our eyes out on the USS Trayer. We get attacked. Wait, have I said too much already? But we brace for shock for things, and we figure things out, and we prove to ourselves that we can survive on a ship. Air Force, you need to include this part of your basic training if you expect us to respect any tradition you're trying to create here. I'm sure Davy Jones and also Admiral Nimitz is probably rolling over their graves trying to figure out where's the heritage of the U.S. Air Force. Are they going to stop copying people? Can they just stick to their own things? Navy, we've copied you with the digital camo. We know that. We understand that we were trying to be military with that blue digital camo that was kind of cringe for a couple years that we thankfully got rid of. This is stomping on our grounds a little too much. That was kind of making sense because we had to be all kind of military, but this is just stretching it to the core of what the Navy has been doing for so many years. We fought for our ball caps in the new Type 3 uniforms to get rid of the 8-point cover that nobody actually likes and isn't super functional. Navy sailors have been fighting to keep ball caps as a tradition, and now the Air Force adopts it. And you would think we'd get a day of peace to take this in. Nope. You got Space Jam Tactical, the only Space Force YouTuber out there on Instagram, flexing already, wearing his ball cap, trying to make it nonchalant like he doesn't recognize that the new guidance just came out, trying to look tactical. Flex that hard. At least give me a day to digest this, okay? I'm not the only one outraged by this. People on Facebook have been going in, and there's a little bit of humor here because it was released on the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Joe Base's Facebook page, and this is the top comment, and I don't know how it made it there, but it is hilarious. I feel like Chief could get marijuana leaguewise for members if she wanted. LOL. Thanks for the hats, Chief. She responds, Logan, I feel like this Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force isn't going to do that. Finally, our favorite Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force gets a little humor on social media. If you haven't watched, there's been some other stuff in the past in the last year where she pretty much was attacked for some of her remarks previously, but it looks like she's found the ways to navigate this minefield essentially where you could say even one wrong word and that turned everything against you. Autumn Bow says, thank you, Chief, for pushing forward with changes. This one is great and all, but why the removal of the subdued flag on the front of the tactical cap for enlisted members? For those of us who have deployed, that's what we have. It just seems like a waste of perfectly good resources that we already own and therefore don't need to repurchase. Bo, I gotta give it up to you. Common sense. Common sense. Really appreciate it. But you know that's not what we do in the military here. We gotta reinvent the wheel. We gotta change it. Maybe someone's getting a cutback. We don't know. Everyone always says that and suspects it, but we never know. But I have to be honest, it could be a supply issue, could be a logistical issue, or I could just be making up issues to try and convey another side of this in any way possible. William Paskey writes, what did you hear? You took the only hat we all had from deployment and made it not authorized. No Velcro on the front for enlisted. Who comes up with this stuff? Let's give the airmen what they want, but make them buy an entirely new hat that will be hard to find. There is nothing wrong with the flag on the hat. It worked for so long, why outlaw it? Another great suggestion and another great observation that anytime a new uniform item comes out, it is known it's going to take a while for this to take effect, for the different exchanges to actually receive it. Then, God forbid, you go to the exchange and you actually find one. At least the sizing for this, it's going to be Velcro on the back, so it's not going to be as difficult. But I'm just making a point here that we know there's going to be people that are not going to be able to wear their old covers, maybe in more isolated areas that are waiting for this new cover to come into place, which I do feel a little bit bad for them. They probably don't want to wear that nasty cover that's with the OCPs anyway. Only thing I could recommend is have a unit patch or something like that, because I do feel like there are flight shirts, these special undershirts that they get to wear that are crazy colors on Fridays. You know, I see the Air Force reaching for certain traditions and trying to build upon them and try and unify with other services, but do you think this is maybe too much as it is kind of like a copycat of the U.S. Navy and our traditions in regards to ball caps and wearing them at various commands and having this tradition? But as always, if you guys do like what we do over here, we do have a Patreon link down below where you can get some special perks and benefits. Also, on top of that, we do have a YouTube link down below this video as well for some special perks and benefits on this channel. We do appreciate it. But as always, if you guys have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.